and welcome to this special edition of Talk Time. I am in Soigao near Guwahati at the residence of filmmaker Rima Das, whose national award-winning film Village Rock Stars have just been chosen as India's official entry for the Oscars. I have with me Rima Das and of course her parents, and will be joined by the cast of Village Rock Stars, an extraordinary film that has wowed audience and critics around the world. Rima, once again, such a pleasure coming to your home and chatting up with you here.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming.
Pleasure is mine, and nice to have your dad, Mr. Bharat Das, and your mom, Mrs. Jaya Das. Now, what is the mood? Now, we have chatted before, when you have made Village Rock Stars. Then we had chatted also after your film bagged the national awards. And now, the occasion is just when your film has been sent to the Oscars as the official entry of India. Huge responsibility?
Yes, it is.
So why do you think it is a huge responsibility? I mean, you have toured the entire world with Village Rock Stars.
So far, the journey was different. Like, we just needed to submit the film, and it is always like their decision. But obviously, somehow it is same also, because when we sent our film Village Rock Stars to Toronto, that time also it was more than 8,000 films around the world, and they selected, I think, around 300 films. So actually it's same. If you look at it from that perspective, it's same. And now also, like what I know, like kind of there are, I think, 6,000 voters.
6,000.
Yes. Around, I don't know exact figure, but almost 6,000 voters who is going to watch the film. Then they are the final
verdict.
Yes.
Yeah, it is just like contesting a big elections.
It's kind of, I think, yes.
I have with me, of course, Rima Das's father, Mr. Bharat Chandra Das. He's the founder, headmaster of the girls' school in Soigao, and a keen footballer. Apuni jothesto khela dhulao korisile. Apuni founder, headmaster of the girls' high school. নহয় জানো
খেলা ধূলাটো বৰ ইন্টাৰেষ্ট আছিল
হয়
বিবৰা কলেজত পঢ়িছিলো
You can speak in English.
Yeah, so you studied, you are a keen sportsman, is it? You are a keen sports person.
Sports was very important subject বুলি ক'ব পাৰি
So absolutely. Now, how do you feel, what is your feeling that Rima, your daughter, is known all over the world, and she has brought name not only for Assam but for the whole country with Village Rock Stars? What is your feeling?
I am also very much pleased in her success.
Absolutely.
I never thought earlier that she will be so, but from the very beginning she was interested in all subjects, in games too, literature, and mainly interested in organizing, in everything she take to do.
Apuni matri hisabe apnar keneka lagise je your film has been her film has been nominated for the Oscars. Did you ever think, apuni bhabisil ne je apnar swali apuni porhibo pothaisile, Punet porhisile, ahi pele hoyto kunba ekhon college ba university professor holheten, but she suddenly changed course. Tekhet kenokwa dhonor asile? Was she a rebel? Olop mane belagotke anotke mane beleg asile neki Rima?
তাইৰ জন্মৰ পিছৰ পৰাই তাইৰ যে বহুত প্ৰতিভা আছে এটো কথা মোৰ চকুত সদায় ধৰা পৰিছিল আৰু এই ভিলেজ ৰক ষ্টাৰত যিখিনি ধুনুৰ চৰিত্ৰ দেখুৱা হৈছে মই তাতে ৰিমাক বিচাৰি পাইছো সৰুকালৰ ৰীমাজনী তাত ওলাইছে
Dhunu, the character, the protagonist, the child protagonist in the film Village Rock Stars, who only moves around with boys and leading to some kind of criticism within the village, you found your daughter in her character. That's what you were saying. Absolutely. Rima, so you are a rebel with a cause, is it? So were you a rebel?
More.
Huh?
Like,
So কেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ ৰিমাই ক'বলৈ অকণমান অসুবিধা পাইছে আপুনিয়ে কওক মানে তাইক মানে কেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ আছিলে
স্কুলৰ পৰা আহিব
হয়।
মানে স্কাৰ্ট এনেকৈ টোপোলা পানী কেইটামান বোকাই পানী লেতেৰা হৈ মাছ কেইটামান ধৰি লৈ আহি ইয়াতে দুৱাৰমুখত মোৰ থিয় হ'ব কি হ'ল ইমান দেৰি স্কুলত যে তই
হয়।
নহয় চবেই তাতে মাছ ধৰি আছিল সেইকাৰণে তুমিও তাৰমানে মাছ ধৰিলা মাছ ধৰিলোঁ মোক মাছকেইটা দেখাব আৰু মানুহজনী একদম বোকাই পানী
Okay. You used to roam around in the mud and the slush in the villages, which we found in Dhunu's character. So, do you remember your childhood? Is it your own, actually, in a way, autobiography, Village Rockstars, to some extent?
Autobiography. To some extent, her character, like activities she is doing. Yes, I used to do same. Apart from that,
Yeah.
also I think probably the soul and spirit, like because from my childhood I'm always a dreamer. I'm like always like to achieve. So probably that that reflection is there.
Rima, this is the huge rice field in Kalardia. We are in the Kalardia village, and this is the huge rice fields that we saw in your film, isn't it? Do you remember those days when you shot here?
It's very fond memories.
Yeah.
I cannot say only memories because most of the time I come and I like to spend my time here.
Yeah.
So it's my actually most favorite place.
This is your most favorite place.
Yes.
Yeah?
After I keep traveling my films and my life also very hectic. So when I'm here, I forget everything, you know.
At the end of the day, the little things satisfies people. People are not expecting too much. Like in your film, they were just looking for one single guitar. That was the whole film about. The aim was to how to buy and procure that guitar, that like saving the little money, coins, etc. By the protagonist of the film.
It's a very metaphor for me. It's a hope, you know, like guitar. It can be anything, but that hope. So
Absolutely.
somewhere that music, that hope is so important for us. Like maybe like there are many problems. But
Yeah.
when we look around, like still it's beautiful.
Now you know a movie. I mean, I think everything has been very rightly chosen film to represent a country of 1.2 billion people for the Academy Awards, that is the Oscars. My question is, every film has to be rooted in the place of origin. It has to have cinematic excellence. It has to have originality of the story. I think most of the things are there. It's a very simple story, actually told in a very, very skillful manner. Reminds people of some of the top cinematographers, but you have your own mark and style because there's hardly any music, and your handling of the sound was fantastic. The raindrops, it was feeling as if as a viewer, I felt as if I was in the middle of that rain. How did you manage to do all that? And of course, I know that you were a one-man army. It was such a small budget.
How do I manage is all my love for cinema and passion. I think just I wanted to I wanted to do it, and so everything it just follows.
Yeah.
You know, so when you really want to do, and you watch Village Rockstars, so that film was not actually possible to like make with a crew because we captures many moments. You have to wait for it.
Yeah,
you know? It's
yeah.
like
It cannot be done with a time within a certain time frame.
Just to like only for a sunset. Probably I had to wait something for a week.
Yes. To get one correct sunset.
Because our sky is blue only during monsoon,
Yeah.
summer. and very unpredictable. Sound like Mallika and
Yeah,
myself.
Mallika. This is Mallika, and she has done the sound. Hi, Mallika. So yeah,
She recorded in location, and we also used a mic,
yeah,
like different but his contribution later on, like Amrit Pritam, he has done the sound design.
sound design.
His
Okay.
contribution is also huge.
Right. Now, tell me about Bulbul Can Sing. It's about three young kids trying to discover their sexual identity. That is what I have read somewhere. What exactly, in your own words, is the film about?
It is more about friendship. It is more about friendship and discovering everything, like
Themselves.
teenagers, like at that
Growing
point
up,
of time.
adolescence
Yes.
issues.
Yes. So whatever come at that age, like they are discovering everything.
Yeah.
Like social hurdles.
Yeah.
And how society also influences. Some things are very natural.
Yeah.
Love and friendship. It's very natural. It's like. And how we are forming a society, what's wrong, what's right,
Yeah.
so it's so many things also there. I like to put layers.
Layers in the film.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you are also going to see in Bulbul Can Sing,
Yeah.
I think, many layers.
Okay. So basically, Bulbul Can Sing you have already taken the film to the Toronto International Film Festival. That is one of the leading film festivals apart from the Venice Film Festival and Cannes and others. Now, what do you have to say? I mean, like, you had a lot of problem in releasing Village Rock Stars, even after getting the national award. Even after your film bagged the national award, you had so much of a problem in distributing the film Village Rock Stars.
Right.
So what does it reflect actually?
The mindset, like it's only the mindset, and people just don't want to take risk. But what I have seen, that audience so different. They
Yeah.
are like, the way they just prove that you should not take them for granted. Like, it's not that they have, sometimes
Yeah.
we decide, like, okay, this is the kind of these are the kind of we should put to attract them, but that's not true. You cannot decide. And this is a very it is not a structured film, without like background score.
It doesn't even, I think, has a plot. Perhaps
Yeah,
it doesn't have a
it's
plot.
just flowing.
But I quite like the very euphoric ending. It reminds me of a couple of very interesting films. One was in 2017 and one was a little old film. But that euphoria. You had to give that little euphoria when the mother ultimately buys the guitar and walks back home despite all the odds. But this story can happen anywhere in the world, isn't it? Universal appeal is there.
It is like,
You had in mind that?
started making movies, it is always in my mind that movies, they should loved by not only India, but it is not like I don't want to say like India or Assam. It should be like, I'm also traveling, like I feel like all human beings same,
Yeah.
that emotion, how like that universally
Yeah.
they can connect.
Yes.
That's and human emotions are universal.
Human emotions are universal.
Yes.
Human emotions are, at the end of the day,
Right,
absolutely
right.
universal.
And it was not so easy. I'm very happy that at least in a way, through Village Rockstars achieved, like that from different part of people, countries, they connected with the film. It's a very good feeling for me.
No, the village life, the rural Assamese landscape, the rural lifestyle in Assam, you have depicted so nicely in the movie, that village setting, the flood time difficulties. But one shot, where your protagonist, Dhunu, she climbs up and down a betel nut tree with such ease. And I understand, I asked you this question a little while ago, and you are yourself very, very capable in climbing betel nut trees, and you can apparently do it even now, if necessary.
Yeah, it is.
So how do you do that?
It's a practice. It's like, it's not practice also. I used to in my, like when I was a child, and like you in childhood, if you like kind of learn how to cycling, like then you remember your whole life. So it's just like that. If you swimming also,
It's just like a
thing.
fish in water. Now you see, I mean, were you conscious when you named your film company Flying River Films? Now, I know that you are also a accomplished swimmer. You can swim the local rivers like a fish to water, and in Kalardia and other places also you have swam rivers from one bank to the other.
Not all, only here.
Only here, okay. When did you last do it? Do you remember?
Swimming?
Yeah, in a river. About 5 years ago, 10 years ago. What is that?
No, just during even when we're shooting with this kids, that time.
That time also you did. Oh, okay, okay. You have not forgotten the art and the trick. That is what you said. Now, my question is, why Flying River Films? Because I was talking to your mother. Your mom was telling me a very interesting story as to the background of why did you name your film company Flying River Films?
Because we are full of rivers.
Yeah.
And we don't have, it's around the like kind of a because it's a very part it's a very important part, I think, in our life. So the stories of river, I feel like every story, if I make a film like this, is I completed my third film.
Yeah.
And always like I cannot just ignore, the river, it is, there is always the river shots are there. So I feel like incomplete
Without the river shot.
Yes.
Now, I have talked to some of the people who are associated with this film maybe 4 years ago, because you took your own sweet time to make Village Rockstars. You are under no pressure. You are your own producer. You are your own cameraman. You are your own writer, director, screenwriter, everything. You are under absolutely zero pressure while making Village Rockstars. But now, Bulbul Can Sing you shot in 60 days flat. So the moral of the story, Rima Das can take her own time, as well as she can be a commercial director as well if necessary.
Yeah, it is. Yes, I think so. Yeah, when it is needed. And Village Rockstars was my first film.
Yeah.
Trying like
Experimental.
doing everything alone, kind of. I never also experienced it earlier.
So it was a whole lot of experimentation that you did with the film.
Yes, everything, and to know myself also, sometimes you didn't have that confidence, I'm going to do it alone or not, or kind of. So, and even like the story also demanded like full like year, how the weather changes and everything, rain, floods, so everything. But Bulbul Can Sing is different. I didn't need like much.
So even that pitter patter of the raindrop sound, which was so fascinating in the movie Village Rockstars.
Really interesting, actually. So, Bulbul Can Sing is a different story.
Yeah.
So
No,
I didn't need it.
You didn't need that.
The way you said, yes, of course, I can take that. Like, it's not necessary. I can shoot a film
if necessary, in 2 months also, depending on the situation. Story and situation. Now, you see, has life changed for you after Village Rockstars? In what way has life changed for you? Are producers lining up? Are producers coming up to you with their own stories?
Yes. They are mostly, I'm very fortunate that they are.
What kind of producers are they?
Approaching from Bombay also, and from Los Angeles, France mostly. I'm talking to 3 producers, 4 producers.
The Indians or Western?
From Bombay.
2 from Bombay.
And 1 from LA and 1 from France.
2 from Bombay, 1 from Los Angeles, and 1 from France.
Yes.
And you are going to choose, you are going to decide.
Not choosing, kind of, they really want to work with me.
Oh, they really want to work
Like
with you.
almost-
What does it reflect what is the message? We all know that it's not a question of how much money you spend. It's a question of the originality of the story. It's a question of the technique, and it's a question of honesty. Honesty is extremely important in making a good film. If you are honest, you are projecting your portrayal in Village Rockstars, as we have seen. It has been honest to a fault. It's been so honest depiction, and the shots, your silhouettes, and your sky and the art are almost merging. That is what we have seen. The sky art merging. So that reflects how you have imagined, how you have visualized the entire film. Now, moral of the story is that money doesn't matter. Technique, idea, and
Everything matters, but it all depends on story and your script. For this particular, like Village Rockstars and Bulbul Can Sing, I had that capacity, in my like limited resources. I could manage it, but it will depend. If my story demands, definitely I'll need more camera and all the like production value to increase. It all depends on the story, basically.
But absolutely, and a lot of people saying that the authenticity of the story is because you're actors. Nobody knew whether they were actors or whether they're just village kids. Let's talk to some of the guys. Dhunu, come, you guys. Come, let's talk to you guys also. And that will be interesting to talk to this young bunch of people. This is the character Dhunu. What is your real name?
Taller than me.
Bhanita Das.
Bhanita Das. So Bhanita played, she's taller than you.
Yes.
Yeah. Bhanita you were in class 6 when you started the film. Yeah.
5.
You were in class 5 when Bhanita was in class 5. She played the role of Dhunu. She was in class 5 when she started the film. And now, which class are you?
Class 9.
Class 9. So it was 4 years. So, কেনেকা লাগিছে মানে সিনেমাখনৰ বিষয়ে তুমি সিনেমাখন স্ক্ৰিনত চাই পেলাই ফাৰ্ষ্ট অফ অল কেনেকা লাগিলে?
বহুত ভাল লাগিলে চাই পেলাই।
নিজকে কিবা ভুল কৰিছিলো ভাবিছিলা নেকি যে মই এইটো এনেকৈ কৰিব পাৰিলোহেঁতেন? নাই। So you did well. That is no flaw. She is saying that ekkuwe bhul nai mane. Cycle khon kone cholaisile baru? Ee cholaisile cycle khon. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Sri Bhaskar Das.
Bhaskar Das. Bhaskar, Bhanita, Malika of course did the sound. Tomar naam to ki?
My name is Boloram Das.
Boloram Das. And you?
My name is Rinku Das.
Rinku. And Tomar?
Vishnu Kolita.
Vishnu Kalita. And lastly?
Manavendra Das.
Manavendra Das. So these are not village rock stars. তোমালোকে এটা কথা গম পাইছা নাই? তোমালোকে যে এতিয়া international rock stars already হৈ গৈছা. Do you realize that? So what do you want? Oscar পাব না নাই?
My goodness.
Let us all hope. Let us আমি আশা কৰিছো. And
There
পোৱা
are
নোপোৱাটো
lots of good
is
films.
yes.
Yeah.
There are a lot of good films.
Practically.
See, পোৱা নোপোৱাটো আমি will wait. We hope village rock stars really rock in the days ahead and bring us more good news. It has already given us good news in the form of the National Film Award, the Swarna Kamal, that has come to us now after 30 years. Now it has been nominated as the official entry for India at the Oscars. Okay, Rima, thank you very much for being on this
Thank
program.
you.
It was a pleasure.
It's always pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much.